Wait, did Brooke Bailey just say what we think she said? Held hostage. In a hotel room. By none other than Mr. We Fly High himself, Jim Jones. Oh no, this isn't some overhyped love and hip-hop cliffhanger. This is real life, raw, and straight up terrifying, and it's got the internet flipping tables. Brooke didn't show up for drama. She showed up with receipts. And when she whispered those 8 chilling words, "He locked me in that hotel room," the entire industry froze. No glam squad, no filter, just fear on her face and trauma in her voice. Jim Jones, the same man flossing diamonds on Instagram and rapping about loyalty. Yeah, she says he trapped her, took her phone, blocked the door, told her she wasn't going anywhere until he said so. So, is Jim Jones really out here living his rap lyrics to the darkest degree? Or is Brooke Bailey flipping the script for her own twisted revenge plot? Because what's about to unfold isn't just another celebrity meltdown, it's a full-blown scandal. Laced with lies, leaked footage, and a story so wild, you won't believe how deep this rabbit hole goes. Stay tuned because the truth, it just started leaking, so let's get one thing straight from the beginning. Brooke Bailey didn't walk into that hotel looking for trouble. She thought she was walking into a meeting. A business move. Maybe even something personal. But what she walked into, allegedly, was a trap. And when she finally spoke out, it wasn't with a glam team behind her or a PR rep feeding her lines. It was just Brooke, barefaced, eyes swollen, voice trembling, sitting under harsh lights saying 8 words that made the entire internet freeze. He locked me in that hotel room. And with that one sentence, the whole industry blinked twice. Jim Jones, yes, that Jim. Rap royalty, Dipset veteran, reality TV staple. A man who's spent decades building an image of street loyalty, diamond drip, and Harlem pride. But now, that same man is being accused of holding a woman hostage like it's some B-roll footage from a low-budget crime doc. And Brooke Bailey, she's not playing it coy. She's naming names, giving timestamps, describing furniture placements. She says he took her phone, blocked the door, and told her flat out, "You're not leaving until I say so." Like he owns time. Like he owns people. This isn't love and hip-hop drama. This isn't a jealous text thread or a fight on a reunion couch. This is serious. Because what Brooke is describing isn't just messy, it's criminal. It's power gone rotten. And when she whispered that she thought she wasn't going to make it out of that hotel room, that wasn't reality TV dramatics. That was a woman remembering the moment she realized she might not make it out alive, and then came the footage. Always the footage. A TikTok sleuth found it first. Blurry, choppy, clearly from a hotel hallway camera. You see a woman barefoot, screaming, wrapped in a hotel robe banging on the wall, crying, "Where's my phone?" Her hair, a tangled mess, her hands shaking, and then, just barely in the frame, you see him, hood pulled low, face turned. But that walk, that stance, that chain, that was Jim. Everyone knew it. Fans went full CSI. Matching tattoos, comparing shoes. Someone even pulled up a still from a 2021 red carpet to match the hoodie string color. The internet doesn't sleep when it smells. Scandal. At first, some thought it was old. Maybe it was a movie scene. Until Brooke popped up on live, same bathrobe from the video draped over her chair, and said the words that took this story from messy to monstrous. That video, that was 72 hours ago, and I've got proof. She didn't cry this time. She didn't scream. She said it quietly, calmly, and the silence that followed was louder than any headline. Now, let's rewind the timeline because this didn't start last week. Apparently, Jim and Brooke had been secretly seeing each other for months. Private jets, late-night dinners, low-key vacations. The kind of relationship that lives in the shadows of the industry. But according to people close to Brooke, her assistant, her makeup artist, even her Uber driver, things started to shift a few weeks back. He was getting possessive, short-tempered, jealous, and then Brooke found the texts. Allegedly, she saw messages from another woman on Jim's phone, and we're not talking friendly banter. We're talking, when is she leaving? You still stuck with that one. The tone, nasty, the timing, brutal. So Brooke confronted him. In that Vegas suite. Thought they'd have a grown conversation, but she says what she got instead was a lockdown. According to Brooke, Jim snatched her phone slammed the suite door, and told her, in his own words, "You're not walking out that door until I say so." She tried to leave twice. First time, he stood in the way. Second time, he allegedly threw a lamp, a whole lamp. Brooke says it shattered against the wall, and that's when she froze. Her body said move, but her mind said survive. She says she begged, pleaded, told him she'd stay if he calmed down. Anything to get out of there. But he wasn't listening. And the scariest part, he wasn't yelling. He wasn't wilding. She says he was calm, ice cold, calculated, like he was in control of everything in that room including time. 6 hours. That's how long she says she was trapped. 6 hours without a phone. No food, no help. Just her, him, and fear echoing through the walls. Brooke says she finally saw a way out when a housekeeper came to clean the suite the next morning. She bolted, barefoot, ran down 3 flights of stairs, burst into the lobby, and begged the front desk to call a car. The housekeeper, gone, reassigned, no trace. Just another shadow in a story that keeps getting darker by the minute. But you, want to know what's worse? Jim's team tried to make it all disappear. According to an anonymous source inside the hotel, yes, someone who says they work behind the front desk, Jim's people made a call. Asked if the hallway cameras could be scrubbed for privacy. When that didn't work, 2 security guards were allegedly offered cash to misplace the footage. One of them, fired 24 hours later. Coincidence? You tell me. And where's Jim during all of this? Silent. No tweets. No cryptic Instagram stories. No they lying on my name captions. Just Jim selfies and radio silence. But insiders are whispering that he's scrambling behind the scenes. Calling lawyers. Running damage control. One assistant reportedly quit the morning after the footage dropped. Another was seen at a downtown law office looking visibly shaken. And then there's Chrissy. Yes, that Chrissy. Longtime ride or die VH1 legend. The one who held him down through every scandal, every beef, every mess. Word on the street. She found out about Brooke the same way we did through a leaked video, and a phone call from a very messy mutual friend. Sources say Chrissy didn't scream, didn't throw hands. She just went quiet. 48 hours of complete silence. No posts, no statements. Not even a like on a sponsored post. And if Chrissy goes quiet, something is shaking. Now let's talk about the voice note. Because just when things started to simmer, a distorted audio clip hit the blogs. A man's voice, clearly stressed, is heard saying, "I told her to calm down. She wouldn't," said, "She was scared, but I didn't touch her. I just needed to talk." The voice, unconfirmed, but the tone. That was panic. That was someone watching control slip through their fingers. Some say it was manipulated. Others say it's 100% him. And of course, the internet went wild. Fans slowed it down, boosted the background noise. One TikTok user even claimed you could hear a Martin rerun playing faintly in the background, and they matched it to the exact airtime during the alleged incident. Petty, yes, but effective. And just when you thought the story had peaked, it didn't, because Brooke went radio silent. No updates, no lives, no podcasts. Her last post, a black screen with no caption, comments off. Profile dimmed. Fans started panicking. Is she okay? Did someone make her go quiet? Or is something bigger coming? Something bigger coming. The silence surrounding Brooke Bailey wasn't just suspicious, it was tactical, because when she finally reappeared, she wasn't crying. She wasn't panicked. She was composed, calculated, and dangerous. Full face of makeup, sleek blazer, sitting across from one of YouTube's most notorious gossip journalists like she was about to spill state secrets. And she did. Calm voice, locked jaw, eyes dead set on the camera. "I wasn't going to say more," she said, "but when the world started calling me a liar, I had to protect my name." Then came the shocker. According to Brooke, this wasn't some random hotel room trap. It was premeditated. She says Jim had been grooming her for weeks. Casual DMIs, late-night calls, promises of business, talks of partnerships. "He told me he respected my hustle," Brooke said. "He told me we could build something together." So when he invited her to a hotel meeting to talk privately, she didn't flinch. She thought it was a brand deal. A content collab. The next big move. What she got instead? 4 hours of psychological warfare in a luxury suite. "He said we couldn't talk in the lobby," she continued. "Too many eyes. Too many phones. He said upstairs was more discreet." Brooke agreed. She followed him to the suite, and that's when the tone changed. According to her, Jim went from smooth to sinister in minutes. She says he cornered her, verbally threatened her career. "He told me if I walked out that door, I'd never get another call from anyone that mattered." Her voice cracked when she said it. Not because she was scared, because she knew he meant it. But it wasn't just Brooke's word anymore. As soon as the interview dropped, the internet got busy. Blogs reposted every clip. TikTok flooded with theories, screenshots, alleged DMs, fan threads that could put FBI case files to shame. And then, the sponsors started to move, quietly, swiftly, one by one. A sneaker collab scrubbed from Jim's page overnight. A vodka deal, logo removed, podcast booking canceled with zero explanation. They weren't waiting to see how it played out. They were out. Period. And then something unexpected happened. The Hilton hotel manager, yes, the actual Hilton manager, gave a statement to the press. Not a vague comment. Not a social media deflection. A full-on polished statement confirming that security responded to a noise complaint near Suite 923. The night Brooke says it all went down. They said they knocked, got no answer, and walked away. That was all they'd admit. But to the internet, that was confirmation. Something happened in that room. And Jim, he wasn't talking. Not even a denial. That silence, it backfired hard. Because in the absence of facts, the internet creates its own. And every silence from Jim's camp sounded like guilt-wrapped in designer denim, but his legal team finally made a move. A cease and desist letter sent directly to the YouTuber who interviewed Brooke, demanding the footage be taken down immediately or face legal action. And that might have been the dumbest thing they could have done. Because the moment that legal threat hit social media, the clips multiplied like wildfire. React videos, recaps, memes, edits, everyone was reposting it. Jim's threat only made Brooke's story louder. And while the internet was eating it up, the hotel security staff started cracking. An anonymous tip voice, distorted, identity hidden, was sent to a shady gossip blog. The message: "There's footage. We were told not to log it. Told to let it disappear." Screenshots came with it, purportedly from a staff chat group, timestamps, floor numbers, notes about sensitive guests, and yes, Suite 923. Another employer, allegedly a front desk clerk, claimed Brooke came running into the lobby barefoot at 4 a.m., shaking like she'd just escaped a horror movie. She looked like she'd been through hell, the clerk said. She was crying. Kept saying she needed to get out of there fast. That same employee, no longer on staff, quietly let go. No reason given. And just when the temperature couldn't rise any higher, it did. Because out of nowhere, another woman stepped forward. No name, no face, just a burner Instagram account that posted a DM saying, "Brooke's not the only one. He did it to me too. Same setup, same hotel, different city." That message was screenshotted, reposted, and dissected by 1,000 TikTok detectives within hours. Hashtags exploded. Surviving Jim Jones began trending. Suddenly, this wasn't just a scandal. It was a movement. Now the internet was fully in crime documentary mode. They found a 2018 podcast clip where Jim laughed about keeping a girl in his suite until she chilled out. People didn't flinch back then. It was brushed off as tough guy posturing. But now, people were listening to it with new ears. And then came the mixtape bars. One line in particular: "If she wild, I hit lock on the door. She mine tonight." It was throwaway at the time. Not anymore. And just when you thought this couldn't go more off the rails, Mama Jones entered the chat. Jim's mother, yes, that Mama Jones, popped up on Instagram Live in full beat and head wrap, pointing fingers at the camera like she was scolding a classroom. "These females always trying to trap my son," she shouted. Brooke knew what it was. She'd been chasing him for years. Now she wanna cry. She even had the nerve to say, if you lock her in a room, maybe she'll finally sit still. It was unhinged. And instead of defending Jim, it made things 10 times worse. The internet dragged her. Sponsors ghosted him harder. One major platform quietly removed his name from an upcoming festival lineup. And industry whispers say to brand deals, one liquor collab and one clothing line have already been iced. No meetings, no callbacks, no press releases. Just gone. And then it hit the courts. Brooke filed a restraining order. And wouldn't you know, it's someone leaked the paperwork. In those documents, Brooke details how Jim allegedly blocked her from leaving, took her phone, and made threats that, if true, are textbook intimidation and coercion. She says, he told her, "You walk out now. I promise you'll never work in this business again." The order included screenshots. Text messages. One read, "I'm sorry I lost my temper, but I still got love for you." Another said, "Don't go public. You know how ugly this can get. Ugly." It's already volcanic, and if that wasn't enough, a new voicemail surfaced. A grainy, muffled clip of what sounds like Jim yelling in the background. "You not going nowhere. You understand me? You ain't walking out that door." You hear slamming. You hear crying. You hear chaos. It hasn't been verified yet, but let's be honest, does it even need to be? Fans aren't waiting for an audio expert. They've already made up their minds. Now, there's pressure on the district attorney's office to open a formal investigation. Activists are tweeting. Legal experts are chiming in. Even a few former Love and Hip Hop cast members have started posting not-so-subtle shade. One anonymous VH1 producer claimed, "We all knew something was off with them for years." Another said Jim actively tried to block Brooke from returning to the show, allegedly afraid she'd talk. And here we are. Brooke, silent again. Instagram wiped. Comments off. Stories gone. Her silence feels louder than anything she's said so far. Jim, still pretending nothing's happening. Jim selfies. Song lyrics. Vague captions like "they wanna see me fall. I'm still standing." Cute, but if what Brooke's claiming is even halfway true, he won't be standing for long. Because when the truth starts leaking, no one stays dry. But the thing about pretending everything's fine is, eventually, the lie cracks. And when it cracks in public, it explodes. Because while Jim was out here posting motivational captions and flexing like the internet forgot, the legal system was quietly circling. Rumors swirled that Brooke's legal team submitted a request for the DA to formally investigate the incident, citing potential kidnapping, unlawful confinement, and intimidation, words that don't just get thrown around, unless there's something real behind them. And what made it all worse? The receipts kept coming. Like a faucet that wouldn't stop dripping poison. Brooke's team, clearly done playing nice, started letting the documents do the talking. More screenshots surfaced. Not leaked by fans, leaked by legal insiders. Text messages with timestamps, call logs. One screenshot allegedly showed Jim texting, "You know I didn't mean to scare you. I just needed you to understand." Another, "Don't let outsiders ruin what we had." And in court language, that's not romance, that's an admission. The kind that makes lawyers sweat and prosecutors lean in. Then, boom, a TMZ-style gossip outlet posted an image, supposedly, pulled from hotel backup servers. Yes, backup servers, because apparently Jim's people did try to erase footage. But the hotel's IT system had its own ideas. The grainy screenshot. 2:47 a.m. Jim Jones, standing outside Suite 923. Hoodie, pulled low, looking over his shoulder. Just before the door opens and he steps inside. Brooke had already said that's when it all began. Now there was something visual. Something you couldn't spin. And if that wasn't bad enough, the same outlet claimed multiple staff members were quietly let go after refusing to alter logs. That's not drama. That's a cover dash up. And then, the dominoes started falling. A major fashion label scrubbed Jim from an upcoming campaign without explanation. An executive from a liquor brand went on record saying, "We're reviewing our partnership agreements immediately." People weren't waiting for verdicts. They were jumping ship like rats off the Titanic. And Jim, still silent. Not a press conference, not a denial. Just more "they hate me 'cause I'm real" energy in captions while his world slowly burned down around him. But Brooke, she wasn't just sitting quietly anymore. Sources say she's meeting with legal teams in 2 different states, California and Nevada. And if either state decides to pick up the case, it could get criminal fast. Because if they can prove intent, prove coercion proves she wasn't free to leave that room. That's not PR damage, that's jail time, and then out of absolutely nowhere, another bombshell. A second woman, this time willing to speak. Not public yet. Not named, but reportedly working with Brooke's attorneys to submit a sworn affidavit. Her story unnervingly similar. Different hotel, different city, but the same pattern. Friendly DMS. Invite to a private conversation. Escalation. Intimidation. Emotional pressure. And one line that stuck out. "He told me no one would believe me anyway. That I'd look crazy if I told anyone." The same manipulation. The same blueprint, and now, a possible pattern of behavior that can't be ignored. Meanwhile, Chrissy, still no word. But according to insiders, she's packed her bags. One source claimed she moved out of their shared property and blocked his number. Another said she's taking meetings with a top reality show producer for a possible comeback. Redemption arc. Maybe, but the timing. Couldn't be more dramatic. And let's be real, she's no stranger to tough situations. But this, even for Chrissy, this might have been the final straw. And while all this is happening, the fan theories only grow louder. Twitter threads breaking down every moment from past VH1 seasons. Did you see the way he spoke to her in season 3? Remember when Brooke looked uncomfortable in that green room clip? TikTok sleuths syncing footage, matching audio glitches, identifying background music from hotel hallways. One even claimed they found the same rug pattern from the leaked hallway clip in a Vegas hotel lobby. Wild. Maybe. Accurate. They're probably not wrong. Now the pressure's shifted from just Jim to the entire circle around him. Former collaborators are staying quiet. Artists who once shouted him out are scrubbing posts. One industry insider even claimed that a long-planned reunion tour was quietly postponed indefinitely, because no one wants to be the one standing next to a scandal when it blows up on stage. And then came the public call-out. A major women's rights organization posted a statement demanding a full investigation. Activists began organizing an online petition, thousands of signatures. Media outlets reaching out. Lawmakers even commenting. And you know what that means? This isn't just a he said, she said anymore. It's a firestorm. And Jim, still dodging it like it's just background noise. But here's the twist that no one was ready for. A leaked audio file surfaced, different from the others. This time, from Brooke's phone. Not a voicemail, a recording. Background static, distorted slightly, but the words cut through like glass. Jim, you walk out now, and I'll make sure nobody ever books you again. Brooke, clearly upset. Let me leave, and then silence. The kind of silence that chills your spine. Not yelling, not chaos. Just cold, calculated pressure. If it's real, and experts are saying the timestamps align with the night in question, that could be the nail in the coffin. And what's Jim doing while all this unfolds? Still posting, still ignoring, still acting like the world isn't cracking under his feet. His latest post, a Jim mirror selfie with the caption, "Pressure makes diamonds, sir. Pressure also makes lawsuits, but go off. And the fans. They've stopped defending. Even the diehards. The ones who would have fought anyone online are suddenly gone quiet. The YouTube comments turned from she lying to, if this is true, he's done. The tide, it's turned. And when the tide turns in this business, it doesn't stop. Brooke. She's preparing for court. That's what insiders are saying. She's not talking online anymore, but her lawyers are moving in silence, gathering, preparing, waiting, because once that legal machinery starts, there's no PR stunt that can save you. There's no IG caption that can clean it up. So here we are. A rapper who thought he was untouchable, a woman who was underestimated, and a storm that's only just beginning. Because this isn't just about Brooke Bailey or Jim Jones anymore. This is about the culture that lets men with money and power operate unchecked behind closed doors. This is about the silence that swallows up women's voices and spits them back out as clout chasing. This is about the receipts, the audio, the footage, the screenshots, and the fear that if someone like Brooke, a woman with a platform, still had to beg to be believed, what happens to the ones who don't have a voice? So now, it's your turn. You've heard the claims. You've seen the footage. You've felt the tension in every leaked voice memo and deleted post. Do you believe Brooke Bailey? Or is Jim being dragged for something he didn't do? What do you think about the silence from his camp? About Chrissy going ghost? About the second woman stepping forward? Let us know what you think in the comments, because in a world where everyone's image is curated and controlled, truth has a funny way of leaking through the cracks. And this time, the leaks are louder than ever. If you want more deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and smash that like button, because this isn't just gossip, this is the real tea boiling over. And while others are brushing off the drama, we're serving it piping hot every single week. Stay alert, stay informed. And remember, in this game, power can buy silence, but the truth always finds a way to kick the damn door down. We'll see you in the next one.